Hi everyone, welcome back to another video of mine. It's been very long since I've made my last one, so I do apologise for that. However, May the 4th just happened, and I thought, what better time to review all the current LEGO Star Wars sets of 2025. So as you can see here, I've got every current released LEGO 2025 Star Wars set. I have included the Clone Camino gift of purchase, just because I really like it as a set. As you can see on the tier list, there's D, C, B, A and S tier. It'll be interesting to see which ones go in which, because there's not been many sets and there's not been many good sets. So let's begin with one of the weaker sets, the smaller sets. I think it's not fantastic, so let's get this out of the way. So we have got, what was I thinking of? This Darth Maul mech minifigure set. Darth Maul, really nice figure. However, I'm someone that absolutely hates the mechs, especially in like the DC sets, like the most recent Superman set, where they've given Lex Luthor a normal figure and they've put Superman in a mech suit. Make that make sense? Who knows? That's absolutely ridiculous, and I think that's the same with this. I understand if you're young and you think this is a really cool, really easy way to get a Darth Maul figure, even though he's relatively cheap, but for me, it's like between a D and a C. I hate mechs, so I'm going to probably put it in a D, but I'd understand if you think it's a C. But I don't think it can be any higher than that. So next, well, I may as well go from order. So we've got the Millennium Falcon, like mini build sort of display set. I need to know the names of these sets, so it's a bit poor on my end. But so the Millennium Falcon, I think this is really neat. I'm not someone that normally get like the smaller sets, but personally, I really like this as like as a mini build. I'd say it's like a solid B tier. I'd understand if you put it in an A, because it is really quite detailed. But the price, obviously, I'm putting prices into this. I need to explain that earlier. I am putting prices into this, and this one, what am I on about? What am I on about? This isn't the mini build, this is the poly bag from the gift with purchase. Okay, yeah, this is decent. I'm putting this in C. What am I even doing? Yeah, C. Neat little build, nothing special. Next, we've got the Camino training facility. This, for me, I think is fantastic. So, obviously, I'm UK, so I had to spend £145 to get this, coinciding with the release of the Slave One, or Jango Fett's Jedi Interceptor, or if it's called Jedi Fighter, whatever stupid that is. I'm going to check the name in a second. The Camino training facility, I think it's one of the best gift with purchases we have got in a long time. So for me, it's an easy S tier. The figures are fantastic, the build's really neat. Yes, you have to spend 145 quid, but if you've got Lego points, like inside the points, or if you just wanted to buy a set like I did, Slave One, I think it's a really neat gift of purchase. So for me personally, I'm putting it in S tier. But yeah, I don't think you can put anything other than A or S. But for me, it's S easily. Figures are great, build's great, and I'm not fussy about the price. So I'd understand if you put it lower because of that. Next, we have the Rebel U-Wing Starfighter. This, I think it's really cool. It's a really neat build. In hand, it's quite slim, and recently I've seen someone make a really cool mock, which I'm going to put on the screen in a second, where they've put two together and made a really neat ship out of that. But the price is $59.99 UK, $69.99. For the price, see, this is a bit of a weird one. So the build's not massive. It goes with, how many pieces is it? Let's have a quick peep. 594 pieces. So 10 piece a pound, which isn't terrible in today's market. You get 4 minifigures. Are any of these exclusive? I believe they all are. So it's just, I believe, yeah, all these minifigures are exclusive. You get, obviously, yeah, some decent figures. God, I sound like I don't know anything here, do I? For me personally, it's like between a B and a C. I think I may be being a bit harsh if I put it in C. So if I just put it into B, I think that's think that's a fair price. A fair rating. I think B's a solid rating. Obviously, leave your thoughts in the comments below on what you think it should be. I love the Andor TV series, so don't get me wrong, I understand why people would love this set. But personally, I can't put it above a B, just because it's not that great value for money. But again, a lot of LEGO isn't anymore. But talking about not good value for money, Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor. Right, so firstly, let's get out of the way. Figures are really decent. You get your first, I think it's the first use of Ahsoka with like MIDI scale legs. Like the medium sized legs, like the movable short ones. So that's really cool. You get a really decent Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars. It would have been awesome to get him in his clone armor, but you know, can't really complain. It's a bit of a bland looking face. I've seen some people say that. It looks a bit like just generic. I sort of see that. But I don't think the figures are necessarily the issue of this set, because you also get R7A7, which hasn't been released for like 18 years. I actually have the original one, which isn't really a flex, but it's been a while since it's last come out. It's either 18 or 16 years or something stupid like that. I think maybe 16, because I think it was 2008, wasn't it, the Clone Wars? So yeah, about 16 years, 16, 17 years even now, it's 2025, bloody hell. But yeah, so some decent minifigures. However, $39.99 for a set that used to be $99.99 or whatever it was with like Anakin's Jedi Interceptor. Yes, you've got one extra figure, but I highly doubt £10 for a figure really equates to bumping up the price, you know. So I really like the colour tones. I love the minifigures. Hate the price. At discount, I'm putting it up at like A, because I think it's a really solid build. But the price, it's got to be a C tier. Like, realistically, I don't think anyone's willingly paying $39.99 for this. But, like, I can see why you put it in the B, because the build is decent. But yeah, I can't put it above a C personally, because $39.99 is atrocious. It's currently down to like 30 or 25 in like Argos and Smiths and stuff. For that price, it's closer to a B and an A. But yeah, like a C is ridiculous. Sorry, not a C. The price is ridiculous. So anything above a C, I can't agree with. Next, we've got the ARC 170 Starfighter. This one, for me, right off the bat's an A. I just love the ARC 170. I believe I own both of the originals. So, like the 2005 one, I know I have from Revenge of the Sith, and I believe I have the 2010 or 2011 one, but it's away in the cupboard. Don't ask me why. I don't know. That one came with Kit Fisto, which was a really nice figure. This one obviously comes with one extra clone trooper, clone pilot even, but and it also comes with what's his name, R4P44 or P44, which is a really nice droid. I think this is the best clone trooper pilots we've like ever got. So we get Captain Jag, we get Oddball, and we get just a Phase 2 trooper pilot. But these are really nice figures, as you can see on the screen right now. These are some really good clone figures, and personally I don't see how you can't put it in A tier. Honestly, I'd put it up to a C, but I just don't think it's at that level, just because the price is relatively high. So you're paying like £60 for a relatively small set with 497 pieces. That's price per piece is really quite bad on this set. It's currently discounted, I think, at like £35, which I think is really good. That's an S tier for me straight away if it's £35. But because it's not 35, about 45, still S tier for me. But 60 quid, it's a great set, but it just doesn't justify an S tier. Discounted 100%, but yeah, no, A tier I think is a good rating for it, because pieces aren't that high, figures are decent, no Jedi, so I think comparing it to the original, well, the 2010, 2012 one, whichever one it is, just doesn't hold up necessarily, but the build's still solid and the figures are good, but yeah, the price is a little bit too high. So yeah, A tier, I think it's fair. I might move some of these around near the end once I've had a decent like consolidation about them all, but yeah, I'm happy with it, A at the moment. Next, we've got Grogu with Hoverpram. Don't know why I started on that. Personally, I really like this. It's a really neat build in person. It looks relatively small on the screen, but it's got 1,048 pieces. Like I don't really know what's wrong with it, if I'm being honest. It's just really neat. Especially if you get on discount. I believe it's on discount on Amazon and other Lego stores at the moment. So say for example you're able to get this for like £65, £70. That's an S tier. Even with a £90 price tag, I think that's A, nearly S. Really decent build. The Hoverpram's really quite detailed, and the Grogu looks fantastic for being fully brick built. Obviously, when you have figures like Grogu and Yoda, they can either translate really well or really poorly in Lego form, like fully being Lego, because obviously they've got that sort of that soft plastic sort of material to make their figurehead. So like when they're in blocky builds, they sometimes look really awkward. Like was it a UCS or was it just like a Yoda figure, like in the early 2000s, late 90s? Obviously back then the details nowhere near as good as it is now, but like it still didn't translate very well. So I think this Grogu's translated really well in brick form. So for me, I'm putting it in S tier just because of how detailed it is, especially with it being on discount. I think that's a really good price. So I might move it down to an A, but I just don't see a lot wrong with it, especially with all the sets that have released this year. Yeah, I can't really say a lot wrong with it. So I'll leave it at S tier for now. So next you've got the Acclamator class assault ship, which is just pretty much a mini Venator, isn't it? That's S tier for me. Fantastic. I think all of these sort of like Starship Collection mini builds are way too expensive. If they had a figure, maybe justified. But I've got the Venator. I think it's a fantastic set. Having this underneath or alongside it makes that set just look a little bit cooler. You can get a couple of these, obviously, if they weren't nearly 50 quid each, and just put them around it, and it just look quite cool. However, like the price is quite high, but I just think they're so detailed for how small they are. You can't really go wrong with them, and they're always on offer. They're about £30 each now, so yeah, for me it's an S tier. Even more so for the Invisible Hand. Like this looks fantastic. This looks fantastic with the Venator near it. Like, yeah, it's called the Home on Star Cruiser, but it's the Invisible Hand, isn't it? But this is a fantastic build. I really like it. This one's £60 at retail price, which I think is like ridiculous. But again, it looks fantastic. So I'm going to sort of trump the price because at this point now they're all on discount, and put these two at S tier just because I really like how they look. But understands why you wouldn't want to get it because of the price. But yeah, for me, S tier. I might drop that one just to A because I don't like it as much. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll do that for now. Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle. Right, so this one's May the 4th, or May the 1st release, but I think it was May the 4th, wasn't it, if you weren't an insider. Again, I really like Kylo Ren's ship, or Command Shuttle, whatever you want to call it. I really like the original one in 2017 for the release of Force Awakens. That's a fantastic set. This one's really cool. It's quite thin. A friend of mine has this and I've seen it. It's a bit thin for my liking, but it's kind of hard to do this ship justice in small form because you're going to have to make it quite thin, and the wings are like a heavy part of the set, so it's going to look overpowering to like the cockpit in that area. So I'm going to put it A. The big form, like the big shuttle, is an S for me. But I think it's translated decently into sort of like a mini scale starship. But yeah, £60 again. When it's discounted, that's going to be an absolute bargain to get. I'm going to buy that when it goes on discount. But at the moment, yeah, I'm going to leave it at A. Just because, yeah, it's not S for me personally. I don't think it's B. It might be B because of the price, but like A because of just how decent it is. Right, so this one here now, right? So the brick built Star Wars logo. I'm putting in S tier, right? It's relatively expensive at £60. Okay, I understand that, but it looks fantastic. We have these at my work, and I thought they were going to be a lot smaller than they were. They're really sturdy and quite deep in that sense. Like £60 is the only thing that bring it down, right? 700 pieces. It's not bad price for like piece per price or whatever you call it. Price per piece, I guess. But I really like how it looks. Yes, it could have come with figures. Yes, it could have come with a George Lucas. But why would they do that? Disney, I doubt, would give George Lucas any more credit than they need to. They're tight like that. And Lego, if they don't have to, they won't give you figures. Yes, you got the Marvel set that came with figures. I think Star Wars really could have done with it. There's a really cool mock I've seen recently with it having figures, and that just looks stunning. So I'm going to put that on the screen for you now. But yeah, I'm putting it as like an S tier. Maybe A because the price is a bit high, but like it could definitely be between the two. I think it just looks really good. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that, just because it's such a random set. But no, you know what? I'm sticking that at S, keeping that at S, and we'll move on from there. Right, next. Helmet set. Jango Fett's helmet set. Well, let's say set, like it's Jango Fett's helmet. This looks fantastic. But the only gripe I have about this is going in S, because it just looks fantastic in my opinion. The only gripe I have with this, which is the same with the Mandalorian helmet, is they could have just used some more smoother tiles on the top part of the head so that the front is fully smooth, and they could have maybe used like a smooth chrome piece or pieces even to cover the front so that it's a shiny, smooth, reflective top of the helmet. Don't know how that would have looked. Obviously we can't tell till we've seen it, but I think just having something like that would have really pushed it up a bit. But it's £70, which is really high for a helmet. But this is one of those helmets I think would look fantastic alongside the Slave one, or Jango's Fett Starship, if you want to call it that. I don't know why you would. I don't know. You know, I'm actually going to put it at A because I don't like it as much as the Kylo Ren one. So I think I'll leave that at A for now. But it's definitely up there in the S sense. And next we have the big boy, Jango Fett Slave one. This set I think is like the highest S. If we're going to do it in order so far, I'll do that, I guess. But yeah, this set's fantastic. I bought it on May the 1st. It was like a day one purchase for me. I'm not normally like that with Lego, unless it's a set I'm like, I need it, and this was one of those. And yeah, so the set's fantastic. It's $259.99, which I think is a really good price for a nearly 3,000 piece set with 2,970 pieces. It's $299 or euros. Two fantastic figures. One fantastic Jango Fett figure and a really poorly made Boba Fett figure. But the set's fantastic. The size of the set for what you get, if you compare it to like the Boba Fett Slave 1 UCS set, which I thought is like one of the best Lego UCS sets ever, it's a lot bigger. And personally, I prefer the colour tones and patterns on Jango Fett Slave 1 to Boba Fett Slave 1. So if I'm thinking Boba Fett Slave 1 is one of the best, if not the best UCS set ever, Jango Fett has got to be an S tier. Like, regardless if people agree that it's better or not, it's an S tier set. I don't think you can really argue on that. So for me, yeah, that's the best set of 2025 so far, and I can't really see any of the upcoming sets topping that personally, unless there's some leaks or news even of upcoming sets with certain themes or eras, you know, like if we've got an Invisible Hand UCS set or something. Obviously they wouldn't do that now, but like that would be fantastic. Okay, next we've got Mando and Grogu's N1 Starfighter. I believe this is like a junior set, or it's called like a 3+ set. So it's got a really small N1 Starfighter. Because of the theme it is, I'm not going to make it a D just because you know what theme it is. But the build is pretty decent for being a small set. You get a Mandalorian, you get a Grogu, and I believe you get a droid in it as well, don't you? Yeah, you do. You get Astromech R5D4. Yeah, so some decent figures and like a really detailed Mandalorian. So, like, personally, I think it's a C because it's not even that expensive. It's $24.99 at retail. Put it at C. Can't really go wrong with it, can you? And next we have the Death Trooper and Night Trooper Battle Pack. Right. So personally, I love the figures, so it's guaranteed a B. And then it's $17.99, which I don't think it's too bad the price, so I'm pushing up to an A. Figures alone, it's an S tier for me because I really like Trooper sets. But the build's not massive. You're getting 119 pieces, spending $17.99, so it's not great, is it? But you do get, I believe, is it 4 minifigures or is it only 3? So I should know this, shouldn't I? It is. I don't know because I don't own this set, so I'm trying to just see on here quickly. Quick Luke, I am your father. Yeah, it's 4 minifigures. Yeah, some 4 really detailed minifigures. Yeah, that's a solid A tier for me. The figures are fantastic. I'm happy to pay that price for it. Obviously, I'd understand if you wouldn't want to, but as you can see on the screen now, those figures are so detailed. They just all look fantastic. That could be a. I'm putting an S. Personally, those figures are fantastic. So, what can I say? Like what can I say? But yeah, set's fantastic. Is it even out yet? I'm saying it like it's out because I've seen this set. I've obviously not bought it yet, but I believe it is. I think it was the May 1st release, wasn't it? Let's say it is. Personally, yeah, that's an S tier for me. I think that's fantastic. And now we've got Kylo Ren's helmet. S. I think Kylo Ren's helmet looks fantastic. It looks just like Kylo Ren's helmet, and you can say what you like about the sequels, but I think Kylo Ren's costume and design on the whole looks phenomenal. And I just love his helmet. $59.99. Yes, that's a lot. It's £10 cheaper than Jango Fett's helmet, and I think it's better detailed. So for me, that's an S tier. I don't think I can really argue why it wouldn't be. But yeah, no, I'm going to put Kylo Ren's shuttle down to a B, and Invisible Hand and Star Wars down to an A. So because I think I'm oversaturating the S tier. So far, I think that's decent. Maybe you could put that up to an A if I'm putting the start. Yeah, I'll leave that as B. No, I'm happy with that B. So that's Kylo Ren's helmet. Next, we've got the final set that has been released in 2025, and that is Chopper C1 10P or 0P. For me, I think again, I think that's an S tier. I've seen this in person, seen the set. Price is really decent, $94.99. It's a decent size. It looks fantastic on display. You get a little minifigure Chopper as well with it. I say minifigure, it's a droid figure, but like you know what I mean. And I think that's just, yeah, I think it just looks great. $94.99. You could argue it's a bit much, but like I think it's really, really detailed. And you get decent amounts. You get more pieces. Yeah, you get decent price for a piece. You get $1,039 for $94.99. You're getting this on discount, so you get this for like £75, £80. Or if you're in America, it's obviously $100. So say if you get it for $85, you're not going to complain, are you? Because it looks fantastic. So that's all the sets released so far of 2025. I'm going to have a quick look over and see if I want to change any of these. I think the Star Wars Polybag, you just have to put in D because it's so basic. I think it's happened quite a few times. I'm happy leaving them all in D. Ahsoka in C, I think is fair just from the price. I can't put the Mandalorian set any higher, but I'm not going to put any lower because it's just, you know what you're getting with those sort of sets. Kylo Ren Shuttle at B, I'm happy with. Andor set at B, I can see why people put it A, but I think it's just a bit too small for the price. I'm happy with all of these A. I think that is an S tier set. I keep going back in my head and thinking that that's an S tier, and I'm quite happy with the rest of these being S. That for me is S because of the figures, but I just don't think you get a lot for the price. So you're paying essentially £18 for 4 figures, which is essentially £4.50 a figure, isn't it? Which I don't think is bad because I think they probably would sell for that much, and then you get the build on top. I'm leaving that an S. The Camino, yes, you can't buy it, but I think it's fantastic, especially if you buy that. You get 2 together. Grogu set I think looks great. The Chopper set also looks great, and the Kylo Ren helmet looks great. So I'm leaving them all in S. So this is my final ranking, I think. What do I put all the builds at B? I just think these two are better than the Kylo Ren stuff. I'm leaving this how it is. So this is my final list for the LEGO Star Wars set 2025. the LEGO Star Wars 2025 set so far. I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm going to keep going back and forth in my head about what should go where, but overall I'm really happy with how this is. The sets this year haven't been fantastic, but the ones that have come out that are good have been phenomenal, so it's a bit of like a give and take in this sense, and I'm really excited to see what comes out for the rest of the year. But yeah, if you disagree with my list, make sure to leave that in the comments, and if you have any more ideas on other sets I should review, give lists on, or any other LEGO themed things you want me to do, leave them in the comments as well. And I'm going to try and upload more regularly now. I've got a lot more free time now uni's done, so I'm going to try and make more videos. But yeah, anyway, I'm happy with this. You guys probably won't be, but make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.